it's a very, very simple, easygoing presentation on academic writing for people who are starting with their academic writing to understand a bit what is this about. So I will start with a simple diagram. This is a diagram of my PhD dissertation, and it simply shows the structure of the dissertation. And from you, I would like you to actually write also to draw your abstract diagram of your thesis to understand the structure of your thesis and what you are aiming at the point. So the simple thing you start with is the research question. With the research question, my research question of my dissertation was actually asking for application on responsive wood in performance-oriented architecture. So for that, I started to map my position in the field, I was using methodology of systems-oriented design, and there was research on responsive wood. So I defined my position in the field. And then I went through all those chapters. So you map the state of art. What is the state of art within your field? Then you get to methodology. Then I actually had to study the material science for this. And then I was building prototypes. Those prototypes were then evaluated for the application. And for the application, I defined the new research field. So if you go, state of art, methodology, then the material science, the subject I was studying, building my own prototype because I was working with research by design. Then I got to the application, and through the looking at my research question and looking at the previously defined position in the field of my research, when I got to application, I found out that I need to define new design field because the position in the fields was already generating something new. So getting to simple things, what you start with would be abstract, and I'm sure you will rewrite your abstract after you finish your dissertation. So start with your abstract, but you don't need to worry about rewriting your abstract after you're finished because you might develop something else. So abstract gives an overview of the overall writing. I read here article, but in your case, it's dissertation. So you abstract is short version of what everything is in your writing exercise. You don't need to take notes because I will give you the recording. Then what is abstract? Abstract should be tempting. You want to engage people to read your dissertation. It is like when researchers are searching for references, they read abstract, see what is the writing about, and decide whether they will read the whole thing or not. So it should be engaging. It should really sell your work. Otherwise, nobody will start reading it. Then you get to introduction. Introduction should introduce the field. It should have references to all the authors within the field, and it should be clear what has been done in the field, and it should be clear what is sort of a research gap, what you are adding to the field. So you clearly say that's kind of the state of art. This is what has been done, and this is what I am adding. Okay. Then you get to chapter of the methodology. Methodology should explain how did you work, how did you do your research. It doesn't need to be any superficial. It should be clear how did you make your work, because it should basically prove that your research is relevant. Because if the research is done with inappropriate methodology, you wouldn't trust the research, right? So you have to clearly sell that this is done this and this way. Perhaps you can also define the limits. Maybe I didn't look into this field because it would be too broad for for my research. So for the overall results, this should be also be considered. I have evaluated this and this part, so everybody knows what is relevant and why is it relevant, and how this can be used. Should have references to similar approaches of working. Should compare what others have done, how did they do that, and how you are approaching it differently. That's why perhaps your results might be different than the other authors. Body text. That's the body of your research. That's the thing what you are exactly researching. It should explain your investigation. It can be subdivided into more case studies or more subchapters. All the chapters can be subdivided into more subchapters, but with body text it is kind of expected, or doesn't need to be. But yeah, you can subdivide it into more case studies or different divisions. But that is body text is explaining what is exactly your investigation. Then you get to discussion and conclusion. It can be 2 chapters, it can be 1 chapter. It's up to you how to want to ground up. Basically, discussion should compare your findings with the other findings. So you say, I have found this and this. This researcher has found that and that, which is in contradiction, and you can say, this might be because that researcher used a different methodology than me. The researcher didn't consider this and that, or I haven't considered this and that. That's why we have different results. Or I have same results as that person. That proves that that might be right, while the other one is saying something else, and so on, so on. Basically, conclusion should conclude what your body text and your position in the field, and it should suggest vision for the future. It should suggest what is the vision for the future for the research, what you suggest by doing your research, what you've concluded, what should be done, what should be improved, or what are your proposals, and how this work can develop further. It is even fair to say, I'm concluding that I should have also investigated that and that. This is about the scope of this dissertation, but I suggest to make this research more relevant. Also, this and that should be investigated, and that is a relevant conclusion of your thesis, that your thesis is not perfect, and you actually found out through doing your research, you found out that there is more work to be done, and never be shy about that. It is very important to state those things, and it is considered as a relevant research result. Important part, acknowledgement. You must cover all people and institutions who helped you with the research. So if you are doing some case study in a certain place or something, you have to mention that you have developed it with the kind support of this and this institution. If you request some external consultancy or whatever, you should mention all those people, everybody who helps you. Your sister helped you to fix your pictures. Those people should be mentioned, and it is inappropriate if you don't mention, because otherwise it's plagiarism. You are presenting work of someone else and pretending it has been your work. So make sure that you mention everybody who, it's very relevant. It's even appreciated that people, institutions helps you, and it make your work looking more serious, as long as you mention them. So yeah, in case you receive some funds or anything, if you are studying on stipend or anything, you should also mention that you were able to do this studies and research with the kind support of some funding body, anything. So that's all, of course, references. References must cover all referred literature in proper formatting. I just went through the materials yesterday. You have suggested formatting which you should be using, so make sure you use that. And I'm not sure if you are used to use Mendeley. Please use Mendeley, and I will quickly show you how to use it now. So Mendeley is plugin in Word, and you can also install the plugin into your Google Chrome, and it reads the references directly from the articles you are reading. So you can download the reference, and then you do your referencing in the Word. So please use Mendeley plugin. It's very easygoing plugin, and if you go to Mendeley website, you get video tutorials on how to use it and how to install it. It's very user-friendly explained, so I don't need to explain too much of that because you can use their thing. Then I will get to another thing. There is something I prepared for you, and I will send this in the chat. This is Cardiff University writing support. You have some tutorials how to do academic writing from Cardiff University. It's for postgraduate students, but I mean it's useful for everybody. It's the same, right? In case you want English language support, you can use it as well. And this is linked to shared folder where you will be uploading to me your drafts, which I will peer review. Just simple standards, as I mentioned, using Mendeley. You can see I go inward to references. Why is that not? Okay, maybe yeah, it's here. So this is my Mendeley plugin installed in Word. I go to insert citation if I want to cite somebody. I press on this. It will start Mendeley. It's a bit slow, I don't know why. It's sometimes get some error. Okay, so for instance, I want to cite myself. So I write my name. And I want to, it will show me whatever articles are associated with my name. You can use, you can write the name of the article, whatever. So I write, for instance, this, and it will insert my citation. This is in Chicago manual style formatting. I can use, for instance, American Psychological Association. I can choose whichever formatting if I want Harvard formatting. So I can. So you check it's in your brief description what formatting you have to use whenever you are submitting your writing to conference or anything. You will always have defined which kind of formatting you have. And what I do now. So this is the citation in the text, right? I write blah blah blah. I cite myself, put this reference, and then I have references. And I go to insert bibliography. And basically depends what style you are using. If it's Harvard, it will generate it in the end. Otherwise, it will generate it in footnotes. So you can choose, and it's parametric. So if you are requested to change your formatting, you just change it by changing it here, and whatever, if whoever changes your mind, it will be rewritten. So it's parametric, and it keeps all the time updating. So it will be generating your list, and you don't need to care about these things. If I open the Mendeley plugin here, so this is how you can add entry manually. If you are not reading from Google Chrome, you select whether it's journal article, computer program, book section, whatever, and that's how it recognizes how to do the formatting, and you just basically fill what should be done. It's very user friendly, explaining what you should fill and how you should fill it. So this is how you fill that. You can also add the file if Mendeley doesn't read it right from Google Chrome. You can upload the PDF, and it will read it. Whenever you upload anything, it will show in the right section here. You have to control whether it's correct, because if they made the formatting of PDF incorrectly, there can be some mess. So always control whether everything is correctly filled, and then if not, you can just change the things manually. Okay, so that is Mendeley formatting. Then if for instance, when you are inserting figures, so if I just add some picture, let me see. I will just, maybe I have something on my desktop. Yeah, I will put picture of myself, right? And then you have to insert caption. What you do, you right click on the picture, and here select insert caption. So I select insert caption. It says says it's the label is figure, right? And I write that this is me, and it's in 2017, for instance. So I insert the caption, and it is here. What is the advantage that you do that this way is because you do that parametric, because if you are writing, you always need to refer to the figures in the text. So I write, and I want to refer, so I write C, and then I don't write manually figure 1. And I do that very easy way here. I put here insert cross reference. And here I select figure. You do cross reference with different chapters, sub-chapters as well. So you put insert figures, and I select only label and number, and select figure 1. If you have more figures, you will have list of figures, and I insert figure 1. The advantage of this is if I put a picture ahead of this will be renumbered to figure 2, and this will be renumbered to figure 2. It's parametric again.